Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about houses you should never buy. So buying a house is going to be one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your life. Now, while the search can be exciting, certain types of homes come with serious issues that can cost you a lot of money in the long run. You got the charm of the old homes to the risk of the flood zones. You just have to be careful when you're selecting a property. You're going to need to think about the potential problems like, outdated plumbing, old electrical systems, especially if you get an old house, or just any other hidden dangers like any kind of structural defects that might be in the house. So your goal is going to be to avoid homes that could turn your dream into a costly nightmare. So in this guide, we're going to go through all the types of homes that you should be cautious about and why. Okay, so the appeal and the pitfalls of those older homes, right? So old homes could have a lot of problems. Plumbing, wiring, you name it, they can have it. So often with these older homes, you have outdated plumbing, you might have outdated electrical systems. These houses may have lead pipes, which really can be costly to replace. Now, I've had lead pipes in some of my homes, the older ones I bought my rentals, and they can be a nightmare. You get one little pinhole in them and it's leaking, and then it's just really hard to repair. Now, the plumbing system, if not entirely updated, might cause significant expenses down the road. If you have old knob and tube wiring, which I've had in some of my homes, this outdated electrical system can be really costly to upgrade, to meet the current modern safety standards. I've had to replace many electrical boxes that were just subpar. Okay, older homes also have that hidden risk of asbestos and other hazardous features. So older homes with asbestos is just really tricky to work with. And usually you can find in older homes that it's going to be in insulation, floor tiles, ceiling tiles. So removing asbestos is really tough. You got to hire specialized professionals and it's going to be very expensive. I know I've probably messed with asbestos in some of the older homes I've, had to work with. And so you just really need to be careful not knowing what you're getting into. Additionally, some charming features like, dumb waiters and those steep staircases might pose safety risks, especially for families and young children. I've had staircases that are super narrow, hard to get furniture up. It's a pain. And then modifying or removing these can also be costly and tough to do. Then you've got structural concerns in older homes like foundation issues are another common problem. Over time, these foundations can just develop cracks or become unstable and water can leak in. So repairing or stabilizing that foundation is very expensive. That's probably one of the most expensive things you can do if you have basements is to repair that. Now, we've had to install I-beams in several of our rental properties that we own because the walls were, bending in and they were bowing in way too much. So we had to put I-beams in to secure it so that the walls wouldn't push in anymore. Okay, so you also need to watch out for moisture issues or mold. Mold can be a hidden danger in these old homes, often resulting from, years of accumulated moisture, some kind of pipe leaking, behind the wall that you don't see or moisture in the basement. So that's just not a cosmetic issue. Mold can affect your health, and then it can require professionals to do removal if it's really bad in the home, and that can get really costly. Now, the other thing is you're like, hey, screw older homes. I'm going to go for a new home, but new homes have some drawbacks too. So buying a new home can be exciting. Thought of like new paint, new appliances, everything brand new in the house. So you're thinking, hey, there's no previous owners. So you're not going to inherit any problems from the owners, right? Well, that's not always the case because you will inherit problems if you have a bad builder. So if the builder's not very good, you're going to have a lot of problems with the home. So why new homes seem like a good idea? You got the modern design. So new homes often have, the latest designs, layouts, making them very attractive for people. Energy efficient. So they're going to be way more efficient than a home built back in 1920 or 1950s. They got better windows, insulation, appliances are better, all helping with lowering your utility bills. You got worry-free living. There's less need for immediate repairs usually when you get a new home if you got a good builder, giving you really like a peace of mind that you might not have if you bought an older home. You also have builder warranties. So if you go with a builder, usually they have a warranty. So many of those new homes, if you find defects within the first year or so, you can get those repaired. Now, let's talk about some of the issues you may face with new homes. One of them is going to be price. So a new home is going to be way more expensive compared to an older one, usually. So you might pay a premium for that newness, especially with the cost of materials in today's economy. Okay, you also have location. Many new homes are built in developing areas, which could mean longer commutes, fewer community amenities. Also, now they build these neighborhoods where you have neighbors on top of each other, so you don't have as much space as you might in an older neighborhood. The landscaping and outdoor space are often new homes come with immature landscaping that's going to take you several years to grow really nice grass and to get all the trees and shrubs and everything grown up. And then the other thing we talked about already, construction quality. So not all builders are created equal. So some new homes might have construction issues that aren't immediately visible until way, 5-10 years after you've owned the home. So when you're considering buying a new home, you just got to weigh the pros and cons carefully. Buying new can be great, but only if you know what you're getting into, and you have to find a really good builder. Don't get crappy builder. Now, the next thing you want to do is you need to steer clear of properties in high-risk flood areas. Now, I know you're saying, yeah, Derek, nobody wants to be in a high-risk flood area, but people do buy houses in those areas. There's houses getting flooded all the time. You're going to have impact on insurance and potential hazards, right? Living in a flood-prone area is going to carry significant insurance costs. Places like New Jersey, flood insurance can range from $1,700 up to $5,000 annually. I live in Ohio. I don't need flood insurance, at least where I'm at, so I don't have to pay that. Something you got to think about when you're buying houses in areas that could flood, especially coastal regions. Now, across the United States, the average cost is about $800 to $900 each year. Even in what's categorized as like a 100-year or 500-year flood zone, there's still a chance of flooding due to unpredictable weather patterns, especially in today's world, seems like the weather is getting crazier. So if you love that house in that area, you're going to have to really look at the risks. Even if the past homeowners say, hey, there's never been flooding, future risks always remain. So, like I said, high-risk areas like the Jersey Shore or any of the coastal regions in Florida, Carolinas, increase the potential hazards. So it's wise to reconsider purchasing home in these zones to avoid possible future losses. Now, next up, we're going to talk about the risks of buying a flipped house. So flipped houses might look amazing because on the surface, a lot of times these companies or individuals go in and renovate the house. It looks awesome. But you're just going to have to be careful. One, inexperienced flippers. Many flippers are new to the business. Like they've only done one flip or that's their first flip or they've only done a couple. They might hire contractors who are not skilled and that can lead to shoddy workmanship and stuff that isn't done right. Two, you've got hidden problems like cosmetic upgrades may cover up serious issues like faulty wiring or plumbing problems or structural damage. These hidden problems can become very expensive to fix after you buy the house. And believe me, I know because I bought several houses and had contractors fix it to only have to fix it again several years later. Three, they might cut corners. So to maximize profit, flippers just cut corners and they get cheap materials or and they rush the renovation and it results in poor quality and it just won't last for you and not do very well. And then if you're buying a flipped home, 4, you want to check permits and inspections. So always see if the renovations were done with the proper permits and were inspected by local authorities. If not, you may face costly legal and safety issues. So you definitely want to check that out. Okay, 5, we got misleading appearances, right? A fresh coat of paint and new fixtures, I mean, it makes everything look great, perfect, like, hey, this house is for me. But really, looks can be deceiving. Always get an inspection done by a professional inspector, one that knows what they're looking for, to see if they can spot anything that might be of, might be something that you need to run away from that house. So if they find something that's scary, go on to the next deal. Don't buy it. Don't buy a house because you like it. Buy it because it makes sense. The cost makes sense and the house is in good condition. So you're not buying a house and then going and having to do a bunch of repairs because the contractors did shoddy work. Now remember, while flipped houses can seem appealing because of their modern looks and upgrades, they can come with a host of problems that aren't immediately obvious. That's why we're telling you all these things, to prepare you. Always do your due diligence and to avoid the costly repairs and potential headaches down the line. Now, hey, those are all the homes that we wanted to talk about and some of the things you need to watch out for when you go buy. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe for more videos on wealth building, real estate, investing, and making money. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section.